Our operating budget is approximately $8.5 million for 700 students. I know of one school district in Beaver County alone that has approximately 750 students and a $16 million operating budget, almost double what we have.
In 1986, 4 years after the Crucible Steel plant shut down, Midland's only high school, Lincoln High, was forced to shut its doors. An agreement to educate Midland students could not be reached with the local school districts, forcing Midland residents to be sent to Ohio for their schooling. However, in the late 90s, legislation was passed allowing charter schools to form in this state. A few years later, a man named Dr. Nick Trombetta was inspired by the excitement surrounding a high school performance to create another charter school, one that would focus on the arts and take place in a brick-and-mortar facility where students from all over western Pennsylvania could attend. After years of work, Lincoln Park Performing Arts Charter School celebrated its grand opening in 2006. That first year, the doors were open to 250 pioneering students, and within 10 years, attendance had tripled to nearly 750 students. Within this decade, Lincoln Park has turned out hundreds of alumni to some of the country's leading arts programs. It has made AYP, adequate yearly progress, every year of the school's existence. It boasts the second highest test scores in Beaver County, and the opportunities for students increase each year. The students at Lincoln Park have all made a choice to attend and make up the true history and culture of the school. These are their stories.
I decided to come to Lincoln when I really started becoming serious, thinking about dance as a professional career. I knew that this would be a great place to make my start and to make connections and to build a foundation to become a professional dancer.
The person I was when I auditioned was very afraid, and at my old school I didn't really have a chance to put myself out there and almost be myself, but here I feel like the person I am now is necessarily, they're more confident and out there.
The environment was just different. I mean, I started to excel, the teachers understood what I was trying to get out of my education, and my whole personality changed. And I remember walking into the audition feeling insecure, I'm not gonna get in here, but this is really where I wanna be. And now I feel confident to move into the next phase of my life. And I can tell you that my life would be completely different if I wasn't going here.
I would say that most public schools, there's certain cliques that you have to kind of find your way in, try to fit in. There's a little group here, a little group here, and you have to find a way to conform. But here, everyone intermingles, and it's just, you have a lot more freedom to be yourself and not necessarily just confined to those certain cliques.
Even though it's the smallest thing possible, is just walking through those doors in Alumni Hall in the morning and teachers standing out there telling us to have a good morning and to have a good day. That little bit of information just makes my whole day.
The principal, he was a new principal that year as well, got up on stage, and the students were cheering and clapping and singing and dancing and standing up. And I actually heard students say how excited they were to be back because summer was boring and they were happy to be back at school. I've never heard that anywhere else.
Out of the three of us, I'm the only gay man sitting here. So I know when I first started coming out, people at Lincoln Park, my friend group at Lincoln Park, even people who weren't necessarily right in my immediate friend group, but were still here, they were my support group. They were the people I told. They were the people I went to for help and guidance when things didn't work out at home, as well as you would hope they did. People here were the people that supported me through it and got me through it and made me realize that it was okay to be who I was, because that's who I wanted to be. I would be a completely different person had that support system not existed, had I been at my normal public school. It's just such a strong environment of support here.
Yeah.
And that's really one of the key differences for me.
We get to interact with people who are here for so many different reasons and have so many different aspirations, and it can help us figure out what we want to do with our own lives.
You're surrounded by people who love what they're doing and they're supportive of you, as well as the teachers too, They're like, you can do it, you got this, you know? So I guess, like, I don't know, and being around these people that are just so passionate about what they do really inspires me to strive in my field.
Senior year as a dance major is stressful, as we are starting our senior choreography project back in the fall, which is what you work on throughout the entire year. That's something it's a class that's, senior seminar is a class that runs first and second semester. So you're worrying about this senior choreography project the entire year. But at the same time as you're worrying about choreographing and auditioning your pieces for the senior choreography project and figuring out your costumes, your songs, your people that you're going to have in your dance, everything like that, you're also worrying about your college auditions.
Back in 2007, early 2007, the Secretary of Education at the time sent out letters to all the students who attended Lincoln Park. It's about 250 students, instructing them to return to their home districts and telling them, in effect, that Lincoln Park was not a fully functional charter school, let's just say it that way, and that if they did not return to their home districts, they would be counted truant and that there might be some consequences that would accrue.
There was a huge misconception in year one, especially regarding Lincoln Park, that we were not providing academic instruction to our students. And I laugh about that because it's silly. Obviously, we wouldn't have a school. You can't do that. It's not legal.
When I entered college, I was in the honors program, and I was scared because, like, you know, people say that we don't have as high level of academic classes as other schools, so I was very nervous, but I entered in on the same level as everyone else, if not higher.
The college classes I teach here are English composition, also known as Writing 101, and Concepts of Literature. They are offered at Lincoln Park through the Community College of Beaver County. We teach them as they are taught at the collegiate level. I hold my students to the same rigorous standards that I would at the community college. In fact, I do teach there in the evenings, and they do the same things that my students do here.
When we got our score reports, we were even more ecstatic because we found out that we had moved up to an 81.1, showing that you're actually outperforming a lot of schools in the state.
Everybody here was pretty much on pins and needles because no one knew what was going to happen. Was this a serious thing? It didn't seem serious because the information was so flawed, but there was absolutely nothing stopping our students from taking that threat seriously and returning home.
The name Lincoln Park carries a lot of weight when they go to music schools. They just know what it is. They know that these kids must be serious. In addition, after going through all the theory classes here, Lincoln Park students can test out of their first couple semesters of classes in music school because they've already done it here at the high school level.
I feel the opportunities presented to me here open the door for me to kind of like be a performing artist. You get to kind of live that here, and then you just like continue to do it on a higher and higher level at university and professionally.
There's nothing better you can give a young student than someone to teach them that already has been in the field. And that's not to take anything away from some fine programs in traditional schools that have wonderful music programs, but it's different than here at Lincoln Park where they can come and spend the whole day with professionals.
A career in the arts is one driven by passion and not by monetary gain, especially in America. However, I think that it's not unrealistic, and I think all the tools afforded to students here are the same tools you'll be presented with in very similar capacities professionally.
You don't get this at any other school. I mean, yeah, they have music programs, but music programs are being cut, by the year. You might be lucky if you see a choir at another school. We have state-of-the-art facilities that, that really other kids would kill to have. I bring visitors and family members into this school, and they're in total shock. They're we really have a solid gift here. I think my favorite part about this entire place is really the facility and the experiences that you can get here that you really, you can't get anywhere else.
There's so many people that want to be in the arts now, and it's not an easy field. And to have the opportunity here at Lincoln Park to give the student all those advantages has really been a joy for me, and something that's been very fulfilling for me in my own professional life.
The school districts, they think that charter schools should be funded from some separate pot of money out there that really doesn't exist, but they don't want it to come from them. And they don't quite understand that the money that we appropriate and the money that we raise locally was not raised locally or appropriated to support a school district necessarily. It was raised and appropriated to support the education of a child. And so that child should have the opportunity to use that money to get the education he or she needs and is best suited for wherever they want to get it, and that money should follow them wherever they go. Are charter schools in danger? They are, over the long haul, are going to be in danger, and for the following reason. There's a lot of people out there who want them to be eliminated. They are treading on turf that historically has been the turf occupied by school boards and, more importantly, by teachers' unions. So if they get an opportunity with a sympathetic governor and a sympathetic legislature to do harm to charter schools, I am sure that they will take that opportunity and do it, because their fundamental belief is that one size fits all, that public education as delivered through school districts where the child is a prisoner to a zip code is the way to deliver education.
Well, I don't want to think about what would happen if Lincoln Park were to shut down. I know things aren't very good, for lack of a better word, around here as far as teaching jobs.
I myself wouldn't be able to get the experience that I need to get some of the jobs later on that I'd love to be a part of, and I wouldn't know where else to get that.
Great thing about Lincoln Park and the whole charter school movement in general is it gives students that don't have these phenomenal financial means a way to go to where they would be best educated. It's easy for the very wealthy people to send their students somewhere where they can get private tutoring or spend untold thousands of dollars on private instruction or a private school and so on.
I want to finish here. I want to get my diploma here. I want to say that I'm a graduate of Lincoln Park Performing Arts Charter School, you know? Like, this, I don't want to see it go.
Things really messed up can happen in your life. An instance happened as a child, and that sticks with you for your entire life. I always felt as though my release from what happened in my life was through dance, because I could never really talk about what happened to me as a kid, because it was really difficult. You can't talk about it openly with just anyone. I couldn't even talk to my parents about it. That's why I dance, is so that I can feel and I can make other people feel something as well. One of the little girl's mothers who was in the production of Cinderella, the little girl's mother came up to me and she told me that her mother had passed away 2 weeks ago on that exact date, and that coming to see the show of Cinderella, that I was the comedic relief that she had needed for those 2 weeks. I had made her genuinely happy after this horrible thing in her life just happened. This one person who was simply just performing, that made me feel amazing. That's why I dance.
The upshot of it was we didn't lose a single student. We came through that week with an agreement and understanding that has kept us going ever since. It hasn't stopped the threats. It hasn't stopped the people who want to shut this place down. But to me, that will always be the best example of why this place ought to be here. Because nobody left. Everyone was threatened from the highest levels of the corridors of power, and they stayed put. There must have been something here that they wanted, needed, and we've been providing it ever since.
Something I cannot contain. It's of my fears. It keeps creeping up at night, trying to hold me down.